such as,
Ik wil graag
I'd
verloskundige
like to be a midwife.
You can become a house painter if you want, but you could just as easily be a carpenter or something, or a bricklayer. Yeah, you can learn all that kind of stuff. I'd like to carry on studying so I can be a calculator. So, say if you're an architect, you need someone to do your calculations, to know what will stay standing up, what weight things will bear, and most of the stuff outside of that too.
Algemeenvormend onderwijs prepares you for further education. So it's really just basic education. If you've done the so-called gymnasium, you can go straight on to university.
And I want to study medicine now because later I want to be a doctor.
Or something with dentistry, then I could become an orthodontist.
I'd like to become a researcher. So if I study chemistry, it's very broad. And then I might be invited by a company. They have a problem and I could research it and think up a solution.
I want to become a gynecologist, but I have to become a doctor first before I can specialize. When children turn 16, they are allowed to work, but they're not yet allowed to work full-time. Because until they're 18, 1 day of school per week is still compulsory. After the age of 18, education is no longer compulsory, but they are advised to stay at school until they have a diploma. Some children leave school too early. This is because they are not coping well with the differences between their upbringing at home, the way lessons are given at school, and how they interact with friends on the street. If they don't have a diploma, they are usually unable to get work. But to get their hands on some money, they may steal or deal in drugs. From the age of 18, people are allowed to make their own choices. No one is allowed to force them to make a certain choice, not even their own parents. This goes for boys and girls. As a parent, you remain responsible for the behavior of your child until he or she is 18. You can help the school by giving your child good guidance, so the school can help you by giving advice, and your child can face a happy future. The Netherlands is a well-organized country, but even in the most well-organized country, people still become ill sometimes. Or have accidents.
En dat kost geld.
And that costs money. That's why everyone in Holland is obliged to have health insurance. Your partner will have to include you in his or her health insurance policy.
Je bent goed verzekerd.
So you have a good health insurance, and you become ill. What do? Perhaps you're used to going to hospital, but that's not the way things work in Holland. When you're ill, you first go to the family doctor. You can choose your own family doctor. Most people choose a doctor whose practice is close to where they live. Unfortunately, in the big cities, there are often too few family doctors. Hello, I'm Ellen. Please come in.
De huisarts onderzoekt je.
The doctor will examine you and may prescribe medicines. But that's not always the case, is it, Ellen? No, it's not. Open your mouth. No, that only happens with certain complaints. But with some complaints, like if people are overweight or short of breath, we may advise them to eat less or exercise more, for instance. So no medicines? No medicines. How do people react to that? They can get angry. They don't like it. You're only a good doctor if you prescribe medicines. That's what people think? They do, yes. Are you going to prescribe something for me? For you, I will. Here you go. Thank you. Bye.
In Nederland zijn er twee
In the
soorten
Netherlands, there are
medicijnen.
2 types of medicine. You can buy the first type at chemists, supermarkets and drugstores like this one. Household remedies for headaches, stomachache for instance, but also methods of contraception like condoms. The medicines you are allowed to buy yourself, you also have to pay for, even if you're insured. But I've got this.
Met een recept van de huisarts
You can only
kun je
get the
alleen
more
de zwaardere
powerful medicines with a prescription from your doctor. You can pick them up at a chemist, for instance, like this one. Here you
Je
are.
hoeft ze niet zelf te betalen.
You don't have to pay for them. Your insurance will do that. There are certain medicines you can't get without a prescription.
Mevrouw, mag ik geboortedatum van u?
12/12/72.
Dank u wel.
Zonder verwijsbriefje van de
Without a
huisarts
letter
kun
of
je ook
referral
niet
from
naar
your
het
doctor, you
ziekenhuis,
can't go to
behalve in
hospital
noodgevallen.
either, except for an emergency.
Deze noodgevallen komen hier
These
binnen
emergencies are arriving here at accident and emergency. They are all cases in which there is no time to go to the family doctor first, like a car accident, a heart attack, or falling from a ladder.
De huisarts kan je
Your
ook
family
doorverwijzen
doctor
naar
can
een
refer you to a
specialist.
specialist.
Dat is een arts die gespecialiseerd
That's
is
a
in een
doctor who
bepaald onderdeel.
specialized in a particular
Bijvoorbeeld een
aspect of
radioloog.
medicine, such as
De meeste
radiology.
specialisten werken in het ziekenhuis.
Most specialists work in hospitals.
Mag je hem even hierop leggen? Kom maar. Goed zo. Oké, met je kopje naar de bovenkant.
Er zijn in Nederland ook organisaties
There
die
are
mensen
also
in bepaalde
organizations in
situaties
Holland
kunnen
set up to help people in
Bijvoorbeeld bij
particular
verzorging van
situations.
baby's.
For example, taking care of babies.
consultatiebureau is
The
zo'n
consultatiebureau or baby clinic is one of these.
De verpleegkundigen van het consultatiebureau begeleiden de ouders bij bijvoorbeeld
Health workers at the clinic can advise parents on nutrition and check children's development.
In Nederland heb je heel veel
There are lots of different sorts of care available in Holland. But if there's a real acute emergency, and there's no one around to help you,
dan bel je het
then
nood.
you ring the emergency number.
De politie, ambulance of de brandweer komt dan meteen naar je toe.
The police, ambulance or fire service will then come immediately. Work is important. In the Netherlands, the aim is that everyone works, both men and women, so each has his or her own income. This applies to women with children too. One of the first questions a Dutch person will ask you is,
Wat voor werk doe jij?
What kind of work do you do?
no answer means no job.
Zodra je in Nederland bent,
When you
moet je
get
zo
to the
snel
Netherlands,
mogelijk
you'll need to
werk
find work as soon as possible. Because once you've got a job, you've got your own income. Besides, you'll get to know other people more quickly and learn to speak Dutch more quickly. If you work, you're part of it all. People take you seriously. It's important to find work which suits your knowledge and experience.
Maar het is moeilijk om dergelijk werk te
But
vinden.
that's not easy. The service sector is where most work is. There are also jobs in transport, in security, and in the care sector. You'll need a good education for these jobs. There are fewer and fewer jobs in agriculture and industry. As a recent immigrant, there are still jobs in cleaning and sanitation and in market gardening. For other work, you need to be able to speak, read and write proper Dutch.
Juist omdat bij
As
migranten de
unemployment among
werkloosheid
migrants is greater than amongst Dutch people, you may have to go through quite a lot of trouble to get a job, and you may well have to be content with a job below your capacity.
Het is niet makkelijk om werk te vinden zonder
It's not
Nederlands.
easy finding a
Maar,
job when you don't
via
speak
uitzendbureau
Dutch,
heb ik,
but I found a job working in a warehouse in Amersfoort through an agency.
Je bent kok in Turkije.
Suppose you were a cook in Turkey, and then you come to Holland. You may want to work as a cook again, but that's easier said than done. You've built up a life for yourself in Turkey and everything was going just fine until you were 30. You met a wonderful person, you fell in love, But then you come here and you have to start all over again. You need to realize what that means before you even decide to come here.
Ik heb ook tijdje als kassière gewerkt.
I worked as a cashier